Hey, so now, this time we're going to talk about when things go wrong. And how to improvise. Things will go wrong in the garden. We planted peas early this year. Usually I do around St. Patrick's Day. I did a little bit earlier this year because the weather's so nice. That wasn't the problem. The problem is we've been planting peas in this area of the garden for a good 15 years now, and we've been getting more and more of a little pest called a pea beetle. And what they do, excuse me, they overwinter in the ground. And when your peas, they also lay eggs in the peas. I'll show you what those look like in the next little segment here. But when they come up, when your peas come up, what happens is the baby beetles, that's a fly, but the baby beetles chew all around the edges of the leaves. You can see they're pretty bad here. And these are our snap peas. They're coming up okay, despite the damage. But we planted a great big row of pod peas for shelling, and you can see there's one there that's pretty chewed up. One there, a couple there just struggling, and not much of anything else. There's a couple here and there. So I don't want to replant here per se, because those beetles are still all in the soil, and they're going to chew up our peas. So to not waste the space, what I've done is I've dug a furrow. You can just see the remains of it. I dug a furrow here, and we planted beans next to it. So these peas that are struggling to come up may make it to the trellis and grow up and give us a few peas like that, but then this space will, the bush beans will grow up next to them and fill in that space. It's got a noisy chicken there. So we do still want peas, so I'm going to walk over to a whole nother part of the garden, a part of the yard, and show you what I'm doing there. I'll cut for that so you don't have to watch me walking across there. So I'm not sure how well this is focusing, but this is what these little beasts look like, the pea beetles. They burrow into your pea seeds and lay an egg. Well, they lay an egg on the outside, and the larva burrows in and starts eating your pea from the inside. Here is the pupa that sits in there over most of winter and develops, and you can see it's eaten out pretty much the whole inside of the pea. And then when they're ready to come out, they chew through the outside, and this one must have gotten frozen before it came all the way out. So the beetle's still in there and would be ready to come out. And they come out and they lay their eggs on, they chew on your pea plants, and then they lay their eggs on the pea pods. The eggs hatch and the little larvae burrow down into your seeds and repeat the process over and over. So that's what our problem is, and I'll show you where we're going to replant to hopefully keep our peas far enough away that that doesn't happen this year. Alright, so to compensate, make sure the sun's not behind me, to compensate or to try and mitigate that, we do still want peas. It's a little late to be planting peas. We're at April 19th today. A little late, but there are some warmer, tolerant peas out there and some fast developing ones. Hopefully it won't get too hot too fast and we'll still get some peas. But what I've got here is just a side bed here with some haskapes, which are a Japanese honeysuckle berry, and some blueberries, and then there's some currants further down that I haven't quite cleared yet. So I've cleared the ground here, and I'm just going to plant peas all among these bushes, and in the open spaces I'll just train them over towards the fence, and they can use the fence as a trellis. I might lean some sticks up for them to trail up. To get them to germinate a little faster, the reason I chose this spot is because there's a drip line that can water them. To get your peas to germinate a little faster, you can soak them overnight and pour off that water. Just do that without losing too many peas here. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. Just pouring off that water. Now, I'm going to direct sow these. Peas like to be about 1 inch deep. And let me see if you can watch me do this. Here's a drip portion for this hose. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to plant a few on each side of that. about an inch deep, like I said. A trowel or weed digger. There's a piece of grass root there. I want to get that out so it doesn't just grow right in. You get a lot of grass in from the neighbors here. Alright, so this drip section is going to be right around here, so I'm going to put in a few peas on each side of that, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, 6 here. Spread them out a little bit. 6 over here, 3, 4, 5, 6. And make sure you got to see that. Cover those up. And I'm going to keep doing that, 6 or about a dozen around each drip spot here. There's another one here. You can see the bulge in the pipe, the hole. So another 6 here. And I'm going to keep doing that all the way along. Or a dozen, I guess. 6 on each side of it. Again, about an inch deep for peas. One, two, and an inch or two apart is good. Get that down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good enough there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. Cover them up. Hopefully this is far enough away. This is about 60, 70 feet probably from where the peas are growing now. They won't be in the soil here, so that'll give our peas a head start sprouting and getting up. So once the adults start flying, they might find it and lay their eggs on it. But I'll show you what that looks later in the season when the little bitty orange eggs are on the pea pods. So I'm going to just keep doing that all the way along. I will plant under the berry plants, and the peas will just use the plants, the bushes, as a trellis and grow up in there. They will get a little extra shade that way, and hopefully a little bit of protection from the sun. And hopefully we'll get some peas this year. I'll let you know how that turns out. But just be aware, you're going to have to improvise a little bit when you're gardening. Things do go wrong. Just roll with it and you'll get something out of there, and enjoy.